Okay, the kickflip, it is really where most skaters want to start. They want to just bypass the ollie and just be kickflipping all day. But I highly recommend getting that ollie first. It's going to help you with your kickflip.
Oh yeah! Right now! Oh yeah!
Kickflip's the basic flip trick in skateboarding.
Oh yeah!
You'll start with the kickflip and then work your way towards the heel flip, the 360 varial flip, the back 180 flip, front 180 flip, but they all start really with the kickflip. And the kickflip, what it is, it's an ollie with a board flip in the middle of it.
Break it down.
In order to kickflip, like with the ollie, I would say your best bet is probably to start stationary, standing still. Unless you really have your ollies down rolling, then you might want to roll with it. But I think it's good to work on your technique stationary. And again, you can do this on carpeting or in the grass, or just find a good crack in the sidewalk you can lock your wheels into. The technique of this is really the same as an ollie. You load that weight into the toes, back foot, snap it, your front foot's more on the toe, bend those knees, pop the board, ollie up, flip the board, catch it, land. I don't mean to make it sound so easy. Here you go. That's a pretty good kickflip. That's kind of what you want to go for it. It's all about popping, sucking your legs up, but really getting the, what we call the flick in the front foot, and it's kicking off your toes to get the board to flip around. That's kind of where the trick is on this. It's all on the front foot. That's the kickflip. And after you get it stationary, you want to do it rolling. And same thing, just get a comfortable speed. Just roll along, same foot placement. Get those toes where they're supposed to be. That's your kickflip. Every skater will kind of decide on their own if they want to learn it stationary or rolling. It's really whatever your comfort level is. If you've got your ollies pretty solid rolling along, then you might want to just start rolling with your kickflips. I recommend stationary, but sometimes I find stationary can be a bit harder because something about that forward momentum of rolling actually helps you with the trick. It really all depends on the individual. You definitely want to learn your kickflips on the flat ground, find as smooth a place as possible. Watch out for those little rocks and cracks in the sidewalk, all that kind of stuff. Really, it's just about repetition, back and forth. You know, you're not going to make every single one. The board's going to pop up, it's going to hit you in the shin. You might have a little blood dripping into your sock. These things happen, you know. You might roll your ankle. There's all kinds of danger in the kickflip. Some of the hardest falls I've ever taken have been on the flat ground kickflip. There's a couple things you got to watch out for. You have to actually watch the rotation of your board. Because if your board doesn't make it all the way around, landing like this is fine. You can get out of that situation. But if you happen to land like this, which is called primo, that could be pretty painful. And I've taken a few mean slams doing that, just rolling along, flipped my board, thought I had it, maybe caught it wrong, and just, this elbow is pretty tore up from some flat ground kickflips. I always dive out with the elbow first, lead with the leading elbow. If you're going at a comfortable speed and you're not really snapping them for height, you're just kind of working on your technique, you should be all right. It's just a matter of, just like again, it's just all about your comfort level. And like I said, I recommend just going at a, real cruising kind of speed, real just kind of crawling along, and just use the momentum to get the board to flip and keep moving forward. So this trick really is about momentum. Some of the skaters here are gonna give it their best shot at the kickflips to see what they got. What happens a lot of times on the kickflip when you're first learning it, you get the pop, you get the flip, but one of the hardest parts is actually keeping the board directly underneath you. Your body, when you have that forward momentum, your body's just moving, and it's hard to always keep the board to have it carry it with you. When you run into those problems, I highly recommend just concentrating on keeping everything centered right underneath you. So you actually watch your board flip, and your body moves with it. So you want your shoulders, sometimes you have to make believe you have this invisible box around you. and nothing can go outside of that box. Your arms, nothing, you know, everything's got to happen within this box, or you can't land the trick. So if you go too far outside the box forward, you're toast. If you lean too far back, same thing. So you got to keep everything right underneath you. And a lot of kids, when they're learning kickflips, they find themselves landing. They get one foot on. They go, oh, I can land with the one foot, but I can't get the other foot on. A lot of that has to do with not keeping it directly underneath you. A lot of times it feels safer to feed it out in front or to let it drag behind and just keep one foot on it. It really takes a lot of commitment to actually put the board down, all four wheels, both feet on the board. And again, it's the learning process. It's not something you can just immediately do. But let's have these guys try a couple more and we'll see what happens. Very nice. You're gonna get tired of me saying this. I'm gonna be hammering this point home all the time, but one of the most important things with any trick you're trying is having a bend in your knees, being loose and limber. You can't do anything standing erect. You have to have a bend in those knees, and the more you bend, the closer you get to the action, the better chance you have of landing your trick. No matter what I'm trying on my skateboard, if I need to get that little extra oomph in there, I always make sure I bend a little bit more. It just brings me closer to the action. I feel more a part of what's happening. The most important things about the kickflip is just, first of all, having your ollie technique worked out, figuring out if you want to learn it stationary or rolling. Again, that's about comfort level. And really, this trick is all in the front foot. You pop the tail as you would for a regular ollie, but your front foot is positioned on the board more on its toes. And there's this flick in there. It's not something you can really articulate or really describe to somebody. It's something you got to feel. With a lot of skateboarding, it's all feel. Through the process of trying it over and over, you'll eventually, hey, that one felt right. And then you'll kind of zone in on what you did properly that time, and then you start working on that. And it just builds and it builds and builds, and eventually you'll be riding away.